Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the support. If you want to show even more support, go ahead to patreon.com/partywithstrategy. Subscribe. $5 a month gets you an extra pod a week. That's double the content. 4 extra episodes a month. Only $5. In a time where we're paying more and getting less, I'm bringing back pay less and get more. Let's go, champ. Patreon.com/partywithstrategy. Show some love. Show some support. Enjoy the episode. Let's get back to it. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go, baby. Welcome back to the Party with Strategy podcast. Very special guest in the building. Another out-of-towner, sort of. Ish.
Yeah, half and half.
Half and half.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We got a special guest in here. Your favorite GM's favorite GM.
Yeah.
Mr. Metamucil.
Mr. Metamucil. It's the shit.
Big Bone Farrone.
Big Bone Farrone.
My boy Eric Farrone's in the building.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Feel great.
Yeah?
I feel great, yeah. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. We've seen each other a couple times so far, but you know.
Yeah. I'm it's good to be back in Chicago. I love Chicago, so seeing all the faces and doing what we do.
You were on a boat today. Were you guys in the playpen or were you just cruising around?
No, we did the playpen. So we went out there for a couple hours, but I'm actually fried right now, so
yeah,
but it was fun. I mean, anytime you can get out in the boat, and then the guys that I was with, they're always about the boat, so pretty simple.
Yeah,
it was cool.
It's a good time out there. I saw some videos on All Access's page
today.
They were looking a little skimpy out there.
It was packed. I mean, we didn't get like two in there tie up or anything. We kind of just did our own little thing, but I mean, it was popping, man.
The tie-up gets weird because, like, you want to leave, but you're tied up in the middle of boats, and you can't leave until, like, one next to you leaves unless you, like, force them, and then it's, like, a whole thing, and then you're stuck out there. I remember being just shit-faced on a boat at the end of, like, a 3-4 hour run of just partying and doing whatever out there, and you're like, I want to go home, but you're just stranded.
You're stuck. I mean, some of the boats have that little dinghy, gets you in and out of there. But if you're in the middle of like that whole tie-up scenario, I remember, we were going out there every Monday, or we were doing our thing, and people would tie up, but then everybody was fucking up everybody else's bathroom. So like it's like people weren't like fucking up their own bathroom; they were going on other people's boats, and fucking up each other's bathroom. So like the captains or the owners of the boats, they were. They were on that stuff. So if you jumped on their boat and like, went below the boat, they were on you. So
yeah,
I know a lot of people were, that was kind of a thing.
Yeah, there's not a lot of privacy out on in the middle of the lake there, but you find yourself into a below deck bathroom
for one or two reasons. Yeah, but some of the dudes in there they were not down there for the reasons that everybody should be down there for. So
yeah,
they were shitting.
So. Well, I mean, we got to address the news, right? We got to address the fact that we have another world occurrence, another global news.
Yeah.
I don't know, scandal. What is it? We're living through insanity. What other lifetime of people have gone through 9/11, COVID, and a potential presidential assassination?
Like in the same week, you know what I mean? Like it feels like it just never stops, It's like they don't even give you a break. At what point have we ever had a break? You know what I mean? And then today it's like we were out in the boat, right? So all of a sudden it's like you just get these messages on your phone and it's like, yo, Trump's good, right? And you're like, what the hell happened to Trump? And you're just thinking like, somebody pushed him down the stairs or did something crazy, and then you see that news and you're just like, dude, we are out of control right now.
Yeah.
It's like, it's scary, at the end of the day, like no matter who you like, you're just like, bro, there's some wild stuff going on, and this was what, an hour ago, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 2 hours ago. So we don't even know what's going to come of it, but I don't know, the news that's going to come out, it's always like the initial story, then there's the truth, then there's going to be 30 different angles of stuff. So it's like, we'll see what it looks like tomorrow, but it's wild.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people saying that they think it was staged, right? And I felt that way when I saw Will Smith slapped Chris Rock for the first time, I was like, that was for sure staged, but it wasn't. And that was my argument. So people probably thought I was insane, but I see people with that argument and I think they're insane because I'm like, what is the benefit of staging something like that? What do you gain?
Well, I don't think you gain anything, right? I just think like we're just so duped right now. Like you just don't know what is right and what's wrong, and you get all this different information. So you're like, I mean, I think the most common sense is like you kind of know what to believe, but you're told all these different things. Like if you go to, you already know, 6 or 7 different news sources. One says he just slipped and fell. The other one said it was a pellet gun. The other one says he was shot in the face. So you're like, you got to start doing a little research.
Yeah, it's fucking wild, bro. But I will say, his ear is fully intact in the photo.
Yeah.
If it was staged, I mean, not too hard to pull off. You have some gunshots ring out. You have someone throw some blanks out there. You got pops in the air. Audio's there. Secret Service takes him to the ground and he just does like a classic WWE, razors his own ear, kind of gets the blood going.
You think he dropped down and cut his own ear?
I don't think that. I'm just saying that if you were to do it, that would be the way to do it. Yeah, right. I mean it's simple.
Nothing is out of the realm, but I mean, let's be real. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I mean, that's just crazy.
That's what I'm saying. What would he gain? Like what? Because he gets to get up and be like, yeah, and then like all of a sudden he's present. I mean it was pretty
went hard.
The picture's fire.
Yeah, the picture went hard. I mean, that's a T-shirt already. I mean, somebody out there's making.
I saw it. Portnoy already posted it. Yeah, it's got the photo on it.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
I mean, it's bad.
The other thing is like, what do you think it was the CIA or do you think it was the LGBT?
I mean, I think it's a mix of everything, honestly. I mean,
do you think the CIA hired an LGBT member?
I mean, I can't put it past them. I mean, at this point, honestly, like, does anything shock you? You know what I mean? Like,
no.
It's like day by day. You can't, like, that's already like at the bottom of your newsfeed. There's already something else now that's going on. You know what I mean? Like within an hour and a half. Now there's this next story and this next story. So there's always one more story right behind it.
And the memes are fire.
I haven't seen many of the memes yet. I mean, of course, it's the internet, so they're already on it.
They put his face on 50 Cent on the album cover of Get Rich or Die Trying. Fire.
I did see one comment where somebody said the Dems got their sharpshooter from Temu.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty good.
I saw a comedian. He tweeted, Biden speaking is still Biden public speech is still more of a public disaster or something like that.
I did see that one too. Yeah, funny. I don't even think he said anything yet, right? Like
no, he did. It took him like an hour and a half, but he gave the classic. I hope he's all right. I pray for him and his family. We as Americans need to unite. Fucking.
I don't know. It's wild, man. It's just at the end of the day, you kind of want to break from all of it, right? Like you're not going to get a break. Like we're past that world, but at the end of the day, it's like. It's just nonstop, right? Like if it's not local shit, no matter where you live, it's like then you get that shit, and it's just a lot, It's overwhelming.
It's very overwhelming, and it just feels like impending doom. It's just always there's never a good outlook. It's always one person's opinion on it versus the other person's opinion on it, and they're clashing, and you don't even know what to believe, and you can't figure it out and get through the weeds, and it's just like. It's insanity.
It feels like teams, doesn't it? Like it just feels like their team versus, and it's like at the end of the day, like we got to figure out the way to, I'm not very political, but at the end of the day, you're seeing what's going on and you're just like, something's just, we all know something's fucked up. I mean, this isn't a secret, but today is like, geez, it's getting like, super real, and it's always been real, but today's kind of the mark of like, I mean, sitting here right now, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Like people are going to take this like you went after our dude. So
I don't know what's going to happen tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to hit the streets and like I don't even know what to expect. It's going to be wild.
Yeah.
It's going to be just the atmosphere of the moment is just like what the fuck.
Yeah.
that's kind of how everyone feels right now. And then we're all gonna go out and we're gonna get drunk, and it's just gonna be, everyone's gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it is kind of just all setting in, right? Like, it's just everybody's digesting it right now. I'm sure people, I mean, at this point, everybody's got to have known by now, right? I mean, it's been a couple hours, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, what's going to be the reaction to all this, you know, especially out here. I mean, I know this is, you know, a blue state, so it's like, okay, what's going to happen here?
Yeah.
There's a lot of Trump flags out there in the playpen today.
Was there?
Oh yeah.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just it's a trip. It sucks, honestly, because it's just like, yo, we just want to, you know, for most of us, we just want to survive and do cool shit and make sure people are cool and taken care of, and you know, let us just live, you know. And then you get this stuff, and then it's going to be, there's something right behind it, right? Like, what's going to be next? Like, is there a retaliation from, you know, the other side now? I mean, it's kind of, if you're going with kind of how things have gone, it seems pretty inevitable that, you know, some nutcase on the other side is going to do something. So like, it's never going to end.
Yeah. Could be a Biggie Tupac situation.
It kind of seems like it's we're there.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, but I mean, you know, Biden, it's like you just can throw a little banana peel down and take him out. You know what I mean? Like,
it shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, he's. I mean, like I said, you know, I try to stick neutral. I'm a big gray area guy. You know,
Same.
At the end of the day, like, yo, I just want people to have a good time and like things be fair, and you know, let's take care of ourselves and you know, that kind of stuff. But then you see stuff like this, and you're just, you know, it's just like, bro, you know, you start to lose a lot of hope in humanity.
Yeah.
You know, because it's starting to be a game that's like, you know, it's just not a game that we really want to play. You know, just come on, life's hard enough already, right? Like, just chill with this stuff.
Yeah.
But whatever, nothing that we're gonna say is gonna change any of that. You know?
No. I mean, I don't think so at all. It's just, I gotta like, you gotta talk, you gotta say things out loud to even start to get a feel for them or an understanding, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what. It's crazy. I want more information. I need to know who this guy was. How did he get anywhere near the premises with a weapon?
That's kind of the crazy part, you know, because he's on a roof, right? Like, isn't that like numero uno? Like, when you check shit out, like, yo, look at all the roofs, you know?
Yeah, we've all seen Shooter. Mark
Shooter.
Wahlberg.
So, you know, you're just, I don't know, it just sucks, you know, because it's just more, you know, fuel for somebody's fire, you know, and now here we are, we're just gonna go at it even harder, you know, and at the end of the day, it's like, look, you know, it just sucks because it causes a divide, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
it's just trash.
It's crazy to me to have such strong opinions within the first 10 minutes of it happening. You know, like there's people who are like adamant about it was staged.
Yeah.
Like I can tell. And I have no problem questioning it for sure. I'll question everything and anything.
Yeah.
But to have the opinion of like this is how it went down, this is it.
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
Well, I think
don't
that's
get
just
it.
like, you know, people are kind of growing in their understanding. You know what I mean? Because before you'd always kind of it's like a headline, right? You read the headline, all of a sudden in your head, that's kind of like, oh shit, that's what happened.
Yeah.
But then if you do read the article or a paragraph or something in the article, you realize, oh, okay, like that was just, you know, that wasn't really it. But most people probably don't read the article, right? They're just kind of like, and then they just take that and they send it to everybody else, right? So everybody's just getting the same bullshit. But it's like, if you take the time and don't overreact in the very beginning, I think we've all learned that, okay, there's more information coming. Like, you know, you can't, but people just want to put stuff out there. I mean, there's like, you know, you go on Instagram, people put like the staged button and they put their little like, you know, to point to the heart. So you like their comment because they just want the clicks.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a lot of that. You know, I think the smarter people, common sense people, they're waiting for like some more information before. But I mean, some stuff like today is like, it's pretty clear cut. I mean, regardless of what he was hit with, like he was hit with something, you know, whether he did it himself like you're thinking or not. But if he did a WWE move under the booth, like, you know.
The only thing that makes me say that is because his ear is fully intact.
Well, but the dude behind him is not. That dude behind him got, you know, there's one died. So
yeah, and that's the other thing is like, okay, if it was staged, you can't have a body. There's no shot.
No, it's
There's no
super
shot.
unfortunate. It sucks all around because it's like, dude, this is just ridiculous. Like, this is the presidential like candidate. Like, it's not. I mean, I know it's serious. Don't get me wrong, but like, and it's part of history, right? Like, this isn't like the first time these types of things happen, but it's just getting to the point where it's like, man, you just really hate somebody so much that it's like all else is out the window.
Yeah,
You know?
it
So,
shouldn't be life or death. No way.
I don't think anything should be life or death, unless you're, doing like, horrible stuff. But at the end of the day, like, just because you have a certain belief or something, like, you got to be able to talk through that. You got to be like, you got to be an adult. But I think too many people haven't had enough experiences to like build that emotional, understanding of like how to have a dialogue with somebody that you disagree with. Because, if you have that enough, you can kind of start to understand certain points. Because most, it's like, I don't disagree with, like I said, I'm in the gray area. So it's like, some things make sense, you know what I mean? But it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, if you're this, then you're not that. So go fuck yourself, And it's like, shit, I'm not, like, it's one or the other. And it's like, it's really hard to live one or the other.
No, that's not how the world works whatsoever. In any way, shape, or form, or in any genre of anything.
Yeah.
It's never like that. There's always nuance to everything.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to give, I don't know. You just got to do your own research. You know what I mean? And now research is considered reading. I mean, really, it's just read. I like to read a lot. I like to look into articles. Like, I sign up for a lot of stuff, so I get like a lot of newsletters and things. And when I have some time, instead of scrolling through Instagram and, looking at trash and stuff that they want you to look at.
Frying your brain.
Yeah, like look at some other articles, and then you can kind of like start to piece it together. So then when you do see all this other stuff, you're kind of like, maybe they're not that educated on that subject and they're just popping off at the first comment, maybe for clicks, maybe for whatever. But at least people, I think, are awakening to like the clickbait stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not anything new, but I think people aren't so quick to be like, dude, did you hear this? Or did you see this? And, now they're like, hold on a second. Like, this is wild, And so you go do a little research, but, it's usually kind of on par with what the headline was, but the reality is like, okay, it was way more mild than the headline. The headline just wants to draw you in. So, so I think people know, I mean, you got to know that by now, right? It's been going on for years, but maybe the older generation, I don't know. The younger generation is still excited by like clickbait.
Yeah. It's like you want to be the first person to spread the news. You see a headline, and before even reading it, you're like, "Oh shit, I gotta send this to my boy."
Yeah, you don't even read
it. It's gonna turn him up.
Yeah, you don't even know what you're sending. You're just like, I just want to your point. I just want to be first. And it's like, so, but I think that does a lot of damage because then the next person ain't, they're not looking. They're just gonna send it to the next person thinking you already did that homework, but you didn't.
The Party with Strategy podcast has a brand new sponsor. Make sure you guys go check out Rendezvous Limousine Services for any of your travel needs around the Midwest. It's the best you can get, top notch. Let's be honest, everyone's a little sick of buying Ubers, getting charged for Uber X's like they're black cars, and the market's just not what it used to be. You might as well go with your best bet, Rendezvous Limo Service. They got party buses, they got Sprinter vans, they got Escalades, they got Navigators. Only the best of the best. Make sure you check out Rendezvous Limousine. You can find them on Instagram at RNDZ Limo or their website, Rendezvous Limousine. If you're grammatically challenged like myself, Rendezvous is RENDEZVOUS. And we might as well do limousine as well. LIMOUSINE. Rendezvous Limousine, best you can get anywhere you want to go in the Midwest. Airport pickups, drop-offs, party buses, just going to see a friend. Do it in style. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to the episode. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, it's wild. I mean, at the end of the day, we're in a wild place, wild situation, a wild world.
It's kind of scary.
It's scary, but also, I mean, I got to imagine like, I always think back, me personally, my grandparents survived the Holocaust. So I'm like, this ain't shit.
Yeah.
This ain't shit.
Yeah.
Not even close.
So it's the start of some shit though. It could be the start of some, I mean, I'm not saying that we're due, like I'm not a huge history buff. I mean, I know the big events, that have happened, but it's kind of like we're due, right? And everything because of technology and social media and all the way that you're able to reach the masses so fast.
Mm-hmm.
I think things, of course, are sped up. Like you can create, you know, a narrative, or you can create some sort of, you know, situation that you want to happen pretty quickly now. You know, before it was like, let's say, you know, like word of mouth, I guess, was the way, right? Or like you just kind of started to hear about things. But now in a you know, push of a button, you can start some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. You got to watch out for the starting signs of some crazy shit that could pop off and spiral into.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we're at the age too, you know, like when we were younger, like I don't know about you, but politics wasn't like the first thing we talked about, you know, in our
I knew
20s.
nothing ever. My
Yeah.
boys would. I didn't start drinking until I was 25. I was always a designated driver for all my friends. Huge fucking group of us.
Yeah.
7, 8 guys that always hung out. I'm driving these fucking drunk assholes around, and they were always, always, always debating about politics
Yeah.
at like
Yeah.
16, 17. And I used to be like, yo, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut up. Like, you guys don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're kids. Like, shut up. We're trying to have fun.
Yeah.
I knew nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it is, you know, somewhat of a drag. I mean, I think we all have somebody in our family that's like super political. So I think that could sometimes be a turnoff because it's just, it's like, it's hardcore. You know what I mean? Like those people are just, they never turn it off. Everything is because of a political reason. But, you know, now that you get older, I think like anything, you know, and especially if you're trying to be in business and do things, you're just like, man, you just get squeezed, you know, all over the place, you know, and you're just, you start to pay attention more, you know, and you're just like, okay, this kind of sucks. And then obviously, you know, people are getting older with kids and stuff, so they want to leave a better life for their families and all that kind of stuff. But you're just like, dude, the way this is going is crazy, you know, like this is, I think like, you know, this race is going to be the you know, presidential race is going to be like, I don't know, a moment in time where it's like, okay, a pivotal moment where it's like, you know, we're going one or two ways here.
Yeah. I mean, that's a set in stone fact just by the events of today.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fact.
Yeah. Yeah. But it doesn't feel safe though. You know, I mean, look, everybody, you know, I have friends that live in San Francisco. I have friends obviously in Chicago. You have friends that, you know, live in Detroit. And depending, if you've never been there, you constantly read the headlines. It's just like, yo, you step foot in there, you're dead, right? Like that's kind of how it always makes it seem. But when you're from there, you're like, look, yes, it is a little rough, or it is a little rougher than what we're used to, but it's still manageable. It's still livable. Like we just, you know, since we know the areas, we just kind of navigate. But, you know, you just kind of look at it and you're like, dude, the world is, you know, I don't know. The stuff that I hear, it's like, dude, things are going to shit, you know, pretty hard.
Yeah. You feel that way, but then there's like, you know, you could spend the next 24 hours to 7 whole days and have the best time of your life. Wake up and it's sunny out and you're having a good time and you're on the playpen and you're having fun. And if you didn't look at your phone and consume whatever it is that's happening, it's amazing. Like with just your own 2 eyes, the actual life that's happening in front of your face could be incredible.
Yeah.
And you could have no knowledge of the impending doom.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I took a break from social media for like almost a year. And I mean, it was great because, you know, there's other forms of, you know, content. So if it's just kind of the scrolling that you're addicted to, or just the constant needing to be, you know, entertained or like just focused on something, I know this is going to age me, but you know, LinkedIn is gangster. You know what I mean? Like, dude, there's some stuff on LinkedIn, man. If you really follow the right people, there's some cool people doing some cool stuff where you're like, it's almost like Instagram. If you follow Instagram for the right reasons and you look at stuff for the right reasons, you can kind of do a little research. You can see what these people are doing, and then you can go follow them on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn kind of cuts out all the fat, right? Because you're not seeing all the bullshit. You're not seeing all the stuff. So like, you're in it with a good state of mind. You know, like I think if anybody gets into the scrolling for an half hour, you're kind of leaving that, like your brain's kind of like, you know, fucked up, you know?
It's the equivalent of eating fucking Cheetos. It's brain Cheetos, you know?
It's trash. It's just trash. And so I think if you follow the right things and you use Instagram and all these other social media platforms as a tool, I think it could be super beneficial. But if you're just like, I just want to see the dog shit of the world every day, all day, you can kind of see, you can kind of know those people when you're out too, because it's like, the stuff they're talking about is like, dude, this is crazy. Like I can't really even have a conversation with you because you're really in like the digital world, and
Yes.
it's like, it is fact, some of the stuff that's going on, but like that's all they see is the same story all day. So they just keep basically reading the same thing over and over.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it like programs them. And then you're sitting there talking with them and you're like, dude, I gotta get the hell out of this conversation.
They
This is
always
terrible.
bring it back to whatever it is.
And they're trying to
Whatever
prove
it
a
is.
point,
Yeah.
and I'm like, look, I either agree, disagree, or I can see an angle that you're playing, but ultimately it's like, you don't need to sell me on this idea. Like we can end this and have a good time. Like we don't need to, you don't need to keep going, but you already know people are, they're advocates for whatever the hell they believe in. So
Yeah. Determined.
they are determined to a fault. It's annoying.
And speaking of determination,
Yeah.
let's get into the real meat here.
Okay.
You were pretty determined to keep Bottle Blonde Chicago open and running.
Yeah, of course.
One of the greatest GMs to ever do it. I've DJed. That's the benefit of being a DJ in this industry, is you work at most of the time as many places as you can, and fucking all the places really, unless you live in Arizona and you're, stricken to one company.
Yeah.
But you really get a good feel for why and how an establishment runs well.
Sure.
And a lot of it is dependent upon the GM, and it trickles down, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So maybe I want to know, like, I have so many questions about just being a GM in and of itself, but if you could answer this, maybe we could get the ball rolling here. Do you think that a good GM could save a place, could save a bar, restaurant, nightclub, whatever it is that's not doing well, if you bring in the right one guy who can implement everything? Can they get it back on track, or is there more to it than that?
I think there's more to it than that. I mean, I think one person could bring a lot to the table,
Yeah.
but you need your whole team. You need your whole support staff. I mean, there's things that people were way better at than I was, and together we could, kind of form that unity and be able to build off of that.
Like what? Like, give me an example. You're really good at what, and then somebody else is really good at what's the other part?
I think GMing is kind of, I always use the thing where it's like you're kind of running for mayor. At the end of the day, like you kind of always have to be even keel. You have to make, decisions based on, the information in front of you. It's not really a reactionary position. Like there's things that'll, piss you off, and there's things that people do, especially in the bar business, that you're like, it drives you wild, right? But at the end of the day, you're just kind of like, okay, I have, for Bottle, we had 120 employees, and some were super part-time, some were, really full-time, some depended on it to pay their rent. Some people were using it for beer money, so it's like you have a bunch of different people under one roof, and you kind of have to make sure that that's always cohesive as best you can, and then from there, that's a lot, 120 personalities. I mean, the person that works 3 hours sometimes wants more time from you than the person that works 90, and you're just like, all right, but you have to make yourself available, because that 3 hour person may have something that's fantastic. And the 90-hour person, they're dedicating, the majority of their time. So in doing that, you kind of have to find the people that can focus on other things, the entertainment side of things, the bar aspect of things, the VIP and the hosting types of things. And like, you just need to make sure that it's almost like they're the GMs of those positions, and then you're kind of the GM of them. And if you find the right people, you can trust them, you get together, you kind of talk about the game plan, and then they go out and execute it. And then when they start to have issues, or they're running into a wall, then we can work together on that and figure that out. But you need people kind of focused on one aspect of the business, because at least for us, it was always hospitality, and, Bottle was a fun place. But I think what made it fun was, year one, we're always getting closed down. The articles are out, right? And our staff stuck with us, but they're like, hey man, if you're closing, like, I mean, we got money to make, right?
Yeah, I mean, how tough is that, right? You're trying to run this business and have, everyone knows that sort of to be the hottest place in the city, you want to have the hottest staff and you want to have a good working staff and all that. And you're trying to maintain this. And then an article drops that says you guys are closing in 2 days because the neighbors are shutting you down or whatever.
Yeah.
And now you got to go reassure your whole staff so they don't go looking for other jobs that this is not true.
Sure.
Which it never was true. There was not one article that came out that became true until COVID hit, which was really the...
Yeah, I mean, kind of back to what we were talking about earlier, though. It's like, it's just the articles, right? It's just they want to see stuff. So, rightfully so, you get all the questions and everything in the beginning. And I mean, even, me, it's like, okay, I mean, how much information do I have, right? But I felt confident in it. We weren't doing anything, that they were saying. So I just knew it wasn't true. And then, our staff, they of course, they're going to ask questions, rightfully so. But, they're making good money. It's a fun place. Like, we wanted to make sure that the morale of the place was fun. And like, we just kind of always kept that. I know everybody says it, but you always want that like family aspect. We were kind of like the Cheers of River North, where it's like, hate us or love us, whatever. But we had a good crew. And then, we had those articles come out, 3 or 4 times. Like anything else, you see it for the 3rd time, the 4th time, it's not meaning as much. Like you keep saying this and you're not doing nothing. So it's like, or nothing's happening, I should say. So it's like, that started to fade away and, whatever. But by that time, it's like, we've had people with us for 2 years. Now we have people with us for 3 years. And like, they're not really leaving. Like the people that would leave would be people that had better opportunity at other places. So like a server or a bartender that really, we couldn't really put you on because nobody left, like you came year 2 to, year 3, like we'd love to get you on, but like any place else, it's like we have our starters. So those would be the people that were like, hey, look, I really want to take this opportunity. But, we always looked at it as like, okay, we would want you to have a skill set from bottle that you could go and apply somewhere else. We weren't like, you're going to leave, you have the special sauce, fuck you. Like, we were never like that. Like, okay, go. Like, we want you to be better. If you're better over there, okay, cool. And I think that for us, that's just how we kind of operated overall. So I think people just kind of like other industry people, they'd come in and it's like, what's up? Like, we're not, like just come in and have a good time, and we didn't really, I don't know. We didn't care. Like, just have a good time. You know what I mean? Just don't wreck the place. Just don't get in fights. You know what I mean? Like, don't do stupid shit, and we're all good.
Do you think that Bottle Blonde Chicago's legacy is so impactful because they did shut down so abruptly, and like in the same way that Tupac and Biggie are legends in the hip hop world because they died before they could start making horrible records like Eminem? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
well, all right. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin. That's what I love about the human soul. It'll usually show when the truth ain't told.